Southeast Asia, a region of monsoons, river deltas, and mountain passes. At its center sits Thailand, a land shaped by water and war in equal measure. The Chao Phraya River runs south through the heart of the country, feeding rice paddies that would one day feed empires. To the north, mountain ridges. To the east, the Mekong. To the south, open sea. Geography did not trap Thailand, it connected it. Before the kingdom, before the kings, the land belonged to others. The Mon built walled cities along the river plains. The Khmer stretched their empire out of Angkor in present-day Cambodia, pushing temples and tax collectors deep into the mainland. The land that would become Thailand was Khmer territory. Farmers paid tribute to Angkor. Soldiers marched under Khmer banners. Then the Thai-speaking peoples moved south from Yunnan in southern China. They followed the river valleys down through the mountains, settling between the Mon and the Khmer. They grew rice, they built villages, they paid dues to larger powers, and waited. At Ban Chang in northeastern Thailand, archaeologists pulled bronze tools, painted pottery, and rice grains from the soil. The oldest layers date back 5,000 years. This land was never empty. People farmed here before Rome was built. By the 13th century, the Khmer Empire was cracking. Angkor could no longer hold its edges together. Garrisons grew thin. Governors grew restless. The Thai peoples watched the cracks spread. In 1238, two Thai chieftains named Pho Kun Bang, Klang Hao, and Pho Kun Pa Mueang looked at the Khmer garrison at Sukhothai. The soldiers were stretched. The walls were thin. The two men attacked. The Khmer were pushed out. The first Thai kingdom was born, not from the gods, from two men who spotted an opening and walked through it. Sukhothai under King Ramkhamhaeng became the first Thai kingdom to put words on stone. In 1283, Ramkhamhaeng carved the Thai alphabet into a stele. Every farmer, monk, and merchant in the kingdom could read the same script, one language, one people. Theravada Buddhism arrived from Sri Lanka. Monks walked into Sukhothai carrying palm leaf manuscripts and saffron robes. Kings funded the monasteries. The monasteries taught the children. The throne and the temple became the same institution, wearing different clothes. Sukhothai sent tribute ships to China's Yuan dynasty, loaded with ceramics and forest goods. China sent back protection and trade access. Sukhothai never had to fight the Mongols. It paid them in pottery, and they left it alone. Sukhothai's golden age lasted roughly a century. Then a new power rose to the south. In 1351, King Uthong founded Ayutthaya on an island wrapped by 3 rivers. Flood season turned the city into a natural fortress. Armies that tried to march on Ayutthaya waded through chest-deep water first. The rivers were the walls. Ayutthaya absorbed Sukhothai's alphabet, its Buddhism, and its trade networks. Then it scaled everything. Ships from Ayutthaya docked in Chinese ports, Indian harbors, Persian Gulf trading posts, and eventually European keys. Arab and Persian Muslim merchants arrived first. They set up in the river quarters, built mosques, and kept ledgers in Arabic. Thai kings gave them land titles and positions in the royal court. A Persian merchant who knew the Gulf trade routes was more useful than a general who didn't. The Khmer left deeper marks. Angkorian court ritual, Sanskrit royal titles. The idea of the king as a living god descended from Vishnu. Ayutthayan kings dressed in Khmer ceremony and ruled through Hindu cosmology. The Khmer lost the territory, but exported the throne room. In 1511, the Portuguese sailed into the Gulf of Thailand. They were the first Europeans to reach Ayutthaya. They came with cannons on their ships and pepper contracts in their bags. They wanted trade and an alliance against their mutual rivals in the Indian Ocean. Ayutthaya gave them a trading post on the riverbank. Portugal gave Ayutthaya arquebuses, the first firearms the kingdom had ever handled. Thai soldiers trained with them the same year. By the 1600s, Ayutthaya had grown into one of the largest cities on earth. Over 200,000 people lived inside its walls and waterways. Dutch merchants kept a warehouse on the east bank. English traders kept one on the west. A Japanese samurai quarter sat beside a Chinese merchant district. Ayutthaya ran the whole arrangement. Foreigners paid the tariffs and moved the goods. Thai officials collected the revenue and watched the gates. King Narai took the experiment further. In 1685, French envoys arrived carrying letters from Louis XIV. Louis wanted a Christian ally in Asia. Narai wanted military engineers who could build better forts. French Jesuit priests set up an observatory inside the palace. Thai astronomers and French priests mapped the same stars from the same courtyard. Ideas were trading hands as fast as the silk. Constantine Falcon ran the kingdom's foreign affairs from inside the palace. A Greek sailor turned royal advisor, he negotiated with France, converted servants to Catholicism, and accumulated enough influence to make Thai nobles sweat through their silk robes. The Thai nobility watched him and counted the days. In 1688, King Narai fell sick. No male heir. The court moved before the king could. General Phetracha arrested Falcon, charged him with treason, and had him executed. French troops garrisoned at Bangkok were surrounded and told to leave. Narai died weeks later. Phetracha took the throne. The doors to European political influence closed. They stayed closed for over a century. The real threat was never France. It came from Burma. Burma and Ayutthaya had been fighting since the 1540s. In 1549, Burmese king Taban Shwedi marched his army to Ayutthaya's walls. The city held. In 1569, the Burmese came back under King Bayanong with a larger army and starved the city into surrender. Ayutthaya fell. Thai nobles bowed to a Burmese king for 15 years. Then came Prince Naresuan. He had been sent to the Burmese court as a child hostage to guarantee his father's loyalty. He grew up watching how Burma ran its empire. He came home and used everything he learned against them. In 1593, Naresuan rode a war elephant into battle against the Burmese crown prince, Mingi Swa. The two men fought in single combat above their armies. Naresuan's blade landed first. The crown prince died. Burma withdrew. Naresuan rebuilt Ayutthaya and expanded its borders farther than any previous king. Ayutthaya held for another 150 years. Then Burma came a third time. The Kambaung dynasty under King Shinbushin launched two armies simultaneously in 1765. One marched from the north, one pushed from the west. They cut off Ayutthaya's supply routes and circled the city. Rice stopped coming in. Disease spread through the streets. The royal granaries emptied. On April 7, 1767, Burmese soldiers broke through the walls. They burned the temples for the gold in the lacquer. They pulled apart the royal libraries page by page looking for anything valuable. The city burned for weeks. The royal family was captured. Centuries of manuscripts, legal codes, royal genealogies, and court ceremony turned to ash and smoke. Ayutthaya was gone. A military commander named Thaksin gathered survivors at the coastal town of Chantaburi. He had escaped the fall with a small force and spent 7 months recruiting, arming, and training. In 1767, he marched back north. By the end of the year, he had retaken the capital territory and driven the Burmese garrisons out. Thaksin moved the capital to Thonburi, across the river from present-day Bangkok. He reunified the collapsed Thai principalities one by one. The northern city of Chiang Mai, the southern ports acknowledged his authority, but Thaksin's rule deteriorated. By 1782, he claimed he had attained enlightenment and demanded monks bow to him as a Buddha. Monks refused. He had them flogged. His generals held a meeting and reached a conclusion. Thaksin was removed from the throne, placed in a velvet sack, and executed. It was used so that royal blood would not spill on the ground. General Chakri stepped in. He took the throne as Rama I and founded the Chakri dynasty, the same dynasty that rules Thailand today. Rama I moved the capital across the river to Bangkok. He commissioned scholars to reconstruct the legal codes that had burned. He ordered a new version of the Ramakien, the Thai national epic. written from memory by every court official who could still recite any portion of it. Bangkok rose from the riverbank as both fortress and kingdom, surrounded by canals that doubled as moats, anchored by temples built to declare that Ayutthaya had not ended. It had moved. The 19th century squeezed Thailand from both sides. Britain swallowed Burma in 1885. France took Vietnam, then pushed west into Cambodia and Laos. Every kingdom bordering Thailand vanished into a European filing cabinet. Thailand watched its neighbors disappear one by one. Rama IV, King Mongkut, had spent 27 years as a Buddhist monk before taking the throne in 1851. Inside the monastery, he had learned Latin, studied English, and read European astronomy. He came out of the monastery already knowing what was coming. Mongkut signed the Bowring Treaty with Britain in 1855. Thailand opened its ports to free trade and gave British subjects the right to be tried in British courts on Thai soil. Thailand surrendered revenue and legal jurisdiction. Britain left the throne alone. Mongkut hired Anna Leon Owens, a British schoolteacher, to teach his royal children English, mathematics, and European history. Western education entered the palace through the front door, carried in by a schoolteacher with a carpetbag. His son, Rama V, King Chulalongkorn, took the throne in 1868 and accelerated everything his father started. He abolished slavery between 1874 and 1905, freeing people in stages so the economy would not collapse overnight. He built the first railway lines connecting Bangkok to the northern cities. He replaced regional lords with appointed governors who reported directly to Bangkok. A lord in Chiang Mai, who collected his own taxes and ran his own army in 1860, was a civil servant filing budget reports to the capital by 1900. Chulalongkorn traveled to Europe twice, visiting the courts of Britain, Germany, and Russia. He came back with engineers, doctors, and legal advisors. In 1893, French gunboats sailed up the Chao Phraya River and anchored outside the Grand Palace. France demanded Laos. Chulalongkorn signed the papers and gave it up. The palace walls stayed standing. The kingdom stayed Thai. On June 24, 1932, a group of military officers and civilian officials trained in Europe staged a coup. They surrounded the Grand Palace with armored cars at dawn. The absolute monarchy ended before breakfast. Thailand became a constitutional monarchy in a single morning. The revolution took hours. The consequences took decades. Military governments replaced each other. Constitutions were written and torn up. Between 1932 and 2014, Thailand experienced 17 coups. A Thai prime minister learned to watch the army the way a sailor watches the sky. By the time the clouds changed color, it was already too late. Japan occupied Thailand during World War II in 1941. Japanese soldiers marched through Bangkok in exchange for passage rights. The Thai government signed the agreement and kept the capital intact. Every neighboring country fought a war on its own soil. Thailand negotiated its way through. The Chao Phraya still runs south through Bangkok to the sea. Monks in saffron still walk the morning streets with their bowls. The Grand Palace still stands on the riverbank where Rama I built it. Burma conquered Ayutthaya. France took Laos. Britain took the Malay states. Colonizers carved up every kingdom within 1,000 miles. Thailand is still. Thailand, that was never guaranteed, and it was never an accident.